and he shows up and get a chance to come down from the series and pops in on you. So we're sitting there um, and I'm talking about Boxster. The Boxster shows up. And what I loved
Was he
about
really?
being
So he was
there,
at PBA?
yeah,
Oh, nice.
Me and Bach were sitting right next to each other. And so when you have Bach there, Bach is the ultimate instigator. And so, Osmos and all these different guys that are like enemies to most people, Bach's cheering. So I have to join Bach. I can't let him be alone.
Surprise me,
I'm
right.
like, we're going to be the instigators.
Right.
When everybody's booing, we're like, yeah,
right.
Almost, yeah. You know what I mean? And then, so we're doing that all throughout the thing, and people are looking at us like funny and stuff. So that was pretty cool. And then, to get to see the guy who started it all, Vince McMahon.
I saw that he was in
dealing with
attendance. That was awesome.
Obviously
And you guys
he's
were right
dealing with
there
some
on the
off
action too. Yeah.
off the,
Right.
off the, how you can't say off the field. So off the ring type stuff he's dealing with right now. But nonetheless, to have him show up in the classic, no chance.
Yeah.
No chance. And
see, I'm not a big WWE guy, and even I know
saying?
that. No, that's
so
awesome.
you get involved in seeing all of that, man. So I thought it was pretty cool. The women, they did pretty good. And obviously, it's great entertainment. It's good to get in there and watch the guys and the support, and people got their belts and stuff like they're the champs and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool that Lincoln can support something like that too.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's a pretty big event, especially in the world of professional wrestling, and seems like Lincoln is definitely big enough to host something like that.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and get right into it. 402-464-5685. That's the Honda of Lincoln hotline, Starter Heyman text line. We want to hear from you. We're going to dive into this, which is really interesting. Came out today. So Ohio State ranks first in key NIL deal categories, which we've talked about that extensively, just NIL and where Ohio State ranks and where the Big Ten ranks and things like that. But what I found was really interesting, too, is that Front Office Sports comes out with an article, and they say Ohio State athletes have inked 1,000 NIL deals and counting. You heard that correctly. 1,000 NIL deals. So since July 1st of 2021, they've disclosed more than 1,000 deals. Ohio State is one of several athletic departments that have gone beyond providing just education on NIL for athletes. So my question to you, Eric Strickland.
Now think about that number.
That's what I was going to jump into.
Okay, go ahead.
Are we reaching the point that the rich are just going to get richer? Because I was having this discussion with a buddy today, and he said, I think NIL is going to create more parity in college football. It's going to give kind of the little guy a little bit more of a voice, a little bit more of a chance. And I made the argument.
You said that?
I didn't say that.
Oh,
and I said,
was about to say, I know Nate Dogg didn't say that.
No.
Okay.
I think the rich is only going to get richer in this situation.
Facts.
And I think this is a perfect example. And I think the parity that everyone wants to see in college football, the teams that were, quote unquote, paying kids, you can interpret that however you want. There are former athletes that have come out and said we were getting paid. The SEC schools are usually at the forefront of those discussions. They can now do it legally. They can do it out in the open. Everything that was behind closed doors is now wide open.
Right.
So it's just, and I think it's a slippery slope. And I know a lot of Nebraska fans are pretty happy about NIL, and they think it's going to benefit Nebraska. And while I do think it's going to help out in some aspects, especially the transfer portal, we're seeing it early on, especially with O'Shawn Mathis. Long term, I still don't think you're going to catch Alabama. I still don't think you're going to catch Ohio State. I still don't think you're going to catch Georgia, LSU, USC, whoever you want to call. And I think that this is a perfect example that it's reached somewhat disastrous proportions.
So for me, in essence, it looks to me as if every Power 5 conference is going to have a billionaire status, meaning someone within that conference structure, your Big 10, Big 12, SEC, your Power 5s, each of those conferences are going to have a dominating factor that can do so by way of NIL in that dominance. Your Pac-12 is going to be probably USC right now. Oregon can get in that game, but do they want to? We'll see. Oregon's they've got that kind of money.
They got the Nike money.
They got that to do it if they want to do it, but we'll see if they're going to play. So I've seen a lot of states beginning to scramble to allow their high school athletes. They're having multiple states are having emergency sessions in order to try to, know that this could be a downfall for their institutions, i.e., your Louisianas and LSU can have trouble if they're not able to get in the game. There are some Texas schools in Texas. They're trying to make sure that they're able to get in this game. A lot of people, if they haven't done it already, are positioning themselves to hurry up to get legislation in place to be able to make sure that they can, their state institutions can get into these fights. I will say that I think that with the Audubon method that it's at right now, you're very capable of seeing that. If they don't implement something as we discussed on last week, I think we may have even been on with Sipple when we discussed last week, where we talked about some form of entry level max, that it's not keeping them from being able to get NIL money, but it's limiting the recruiting aspects of the bring in.
Right.
If that doesn't get a hold of it, then you're going to see lack of parity. That is the only way you can keep parity, because every school is equal. 100,000, 200,000, 300,000. If you can't play at that level, then you're going to get $100,000 player if that's the level you can play on. But at least you're not freaking out of the game, right?
Which is what's happening.
Which is right now what's happening. There are organization schools, huge booster, universities that can really dominate the game right now, and it's causing the lack of parity, I believe, to get out of whack. So you've seen just a snippet of it because of what happened with Pitt. That's a back end part of it, but it's still a snippet or a peek or a sneak peek into what it could be and look like. And you probably got even more of a peek as to what transpired. And I'm going to let you tap in on that. What transpired with Ohio State just clipping Texas and what was it? Texas and Texas A&M? It was a couple of receivers,
so.
5-stars,
2 5-stars
that just got clipped. It could have been Oklahoma and Texas, but it was 2 top 5 stars that literally decommitted and made a swoop over there.
Here's my frustration is, one, I absolutely hate how the Jordan Addison situation was handled, because Pat Narduzzi's right. He says we have the top receiver in the country. He has no problem playing for Pitt. He, by all indications, was going to come back. A week before the transfer portal ends, Lincoln Riley just gives a call, or maybe it was Caleb Williams. We don't know, because none of this tampering, quote unquote. Caleb Williams gives his buddy Jordan Addison a call and says, "Hey, just come to USC. You're going to be in California. It'll be nice weather. We got a great campus. Oh, by the way, we'll give you $3 million."
Yeah,
that's my issue. And now my issue that we're running into with recruiting is that's not recruiting, right? How can you just go to a high school kid who, say, he commits to Texas, which it looks like this is one of those situations, and say, what is Texas offering you? They give their number, obviously, because these kids, trust me, these 5-stars know exactly how much money they're going to make depending on where they go. So they say, how much money is Texas giving you? You come back and you say, oh, we'll give you X amount. Can Texas match that? They give a call to Texas and say, can you match that? No, we can't match. Okay, I'll go to USC. I'll go to Ohio State. There is something seriously wrong with manipulating a kid by doing that. And I know some people disagree with me and say they're not kids. Listen, a 17-year-old is a kid, and you're genuinely manipulating their decision with money. And I understand they worked hard. They're a special talent. They're far more athletic than I ever will.
Social media generation, too, is
absolutely
showing and proving all of that.
But let me ask you that, Strick. If you're a 17-year-old kid and you are not making the decision based off what's best for you, you're making it based off money. are we going to see issues with that down the line? I don't think we'll understand it now, and I don't think we'll understand it in 5 years. I think in 10 years, you're going to see the repercussions of something like that.
I think where you're going to see it earlier, sooner than later, is if it stays out of hand and they don't get a wrap around it. Let me tell you where it came from. It came from the illustrious, flamboyant, and just super egoist of Deion Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
Now
Jackson
he's
State,
humble. He's humble as heck right now. I love him. He's
Right.
a great friend. But listen, he basically said it. How are you going to be able to tell these young men who are making millions more? Now, we're not talking about the top levels, but we are talking about the top levels because we're still talking about some
Right.
cats coming in with crazy. How are you going to be able to coach these young kids? Now, it's different coaching professionals as opposed to still young men trying to find out who they are, how
That's a
they're
good point.
developing
great
their
point.
mindset.
Yeah.
They haven't lived. They've been in the minutia culture of their little areas of high school or cities that they
You
live
lived in your parents' basement your
know what I
entire
mean?
life.
You
Right.
haven't seen.
You haven't been on your own.
And you haven't been taught in the school systems financial literacy.
No.
Your parents may not even have financial literacy themselves because of the situations and circumstance. So you
Right.
go, it would be no different than this. You give an addict more money, it doesn't help the addict to control the addiction.
Right.
It helps to take the addiction to times 10 issue, right? So you don't become, the circumstances don't change the addiction. You become more of the addict of whatever that thing is, right? You just have more money to do it on a higher scale. So if you don't understand financial literacy, then just like if you do the research on most people who win lotteries, that within 3 to 4 years, they're in more trouble than what.
That's insane.
You know what I'm saying? And you're talking hundreds of millions of dollars.
Right.
You can even look at all of our situations in athletes, or you can look at the Mike Tyson situation. You can look at, if you're not taught of who to surround you, you're going to get super leeches. And you're in the social media, area watching, you're watching James Harden leaving the game, going into the strip clubs and just making it rain when he's got a game that he's, I'm not coming down on that. I'm just basically just trying to show what we're talking
That's
about.
Kids see
what they see, and now they've got this at this young age and not able to understand the life, the struggle, the ramen noodles, the walking to class, to having to maybe get on the university bus, or I mean, some of us have cars, but then struggling to, okay, I have to make a decision. Is it gas? Do I need to go on this trip to Kansas City?
Or frozen pizza?
You know what I'm saying?
No, I know.
So
I've been
those
there.
things you learn lessons
Right.
out of. And if you don't have that, then you just don't know where that can take you. That's all I'm saying.
Right. And I think a big part of it too is that people don't realize only 2% of these kids are going to play professional sports.
Facts.
Like this is it.
Yeah.
So you can make your money now, and I understand that, and I think that's great, and I think the kids should be getting paid. But then what happens life after football? What happens when one of these kids breaks his knee or tears something? I mean, it's just a slippery slope. We're gonna head to the Honda of Lincoln hotline. Derek, what's on your mind?
Hey guys, NIL, it's on my mind 24/7. But first, welcome home, Eric Strickland. I'm sure it's good to be back. I hope it is.
Derek, thank you so much, man. It truly is. I appreciate that. And we look forward to hearing what you got to say, man. Thanks for listening. We appreciate that.
Absolutely. You bet. What you guys are talking about, it's all true. But unfortunately, the NCAA missed the boat 10, 15 years ago. They could have created a self-fund mechanism and shared monies with all the institutions that play football, and they could have said, whatever that number is per year, you guys meaning the teams, can dole it out in any way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's a free for all. And what you say is true, Eric, because you put $100,000 in an 18-year-old's pocket, a lot of bad things can come from that. And the other thing that really disappoints me, and I've called Early Break many times and challenged Sipple on this, is who's paying the taxes? You know, if you get $100,000, you really only get like next April. And so my question is, who in the university systems are wrapping services around their children, for the most part, the young ones, young adults, young men and women? Who's providing counseling for financial aspects of this new found wealth?
Yeah.
Who's setting this all up for these kids? That's my question. What do you guys think about that?
Derek, thanks for the call, man. That's the thing too, is I feel like sometimes, I know that when I was in high school, I had to take a financial literacy class, but from what I've gathered on social media and in conversations with some of my peers, that's not always the case. And he makes a good point too. I don't care what age you are. If you're given $100,000 plus, that's dangerous for anybody, man. Like, I don't care. I'm about to be 24 years old. If you gave me $100,000 right now, I promise you I would be reckless with that money.
Right.
It's just the nature of the society that we live in, especially in the social media era. So, I mean, he makes a good point that an 18-year-old kid, you're just going to throw them this money.
Yeah.
And then who does pay the taxes? Who is giving these kids financial literacy? And listen, I feel like sometimes I come off like I don't want the kids to get paid. I'm not saying that. I think it's been a long time coming. I think you're a perfect example, Strick. When you were playing at the University of Nebraska, I think that you probably should have gotten paid. And I think that you should have been compensated for making those runs that you guys did. But the way that it's being handled now, I just think is incorrect. I just don't think it's the right way to do it.
I agree. And listen, I'm not going to sit up here and act like, I was the, greatest decision maker in things. I made bad decisions too. We all do. It was a blessing that I had my father, who was one of, was my my financial conciliary,
right.
you know
Mentor.
what I'm saying? Yeah. Who would speak to, and he told me a lot of things that I shouldn't have done, that I ended up, because it was still my decision to make. Even though he counsels, it's still your decision to make, right? Especially being at that age when you're now a man. So I look back at just all the stupid things that I wasted money on, and I think there are I'm talking about depreciating assets. I remember buying a 750 IL BMW V12.
Nice.
Liked it. It was nice. Great car. Paid $100,000 plus for it. You had all the bells and whistles on the inside, the leathers and all, just the whole nine. Great car. It was awesome. Yeah. I pushed it to the limit sometimes, but
yeah,
it was one of those things where I was like, dang, you know what? I like it, but boy, I sure would like this, Mercedes AMG SL55. I think that's dope. I'd like a 2-seater. And I go back to try to, this is a lesson I learned. I go back to try to, trade it in, knowing I just paid 100. And they're like, oh yeah, it's worth 60. What? That was
Appreciation,
awaken.
Yeah.
That was, I'm talking about the minute it left the freaking drive. I don't buy new cars. Ever since then, I've never bought a new car at that point. Ever since.
You lose value right off the lot.
Right the minute it left the lot. And so that was a great lesson for me. And those are just small little things. Like, I would never really buy a boat. I would probably work a little lease deal because I may use it maybe only a couple months out of the year, and so I've learned all of these things that most people don't. And it's just even a small one, just like what Derek the caller said, is the tax implications. What state you're in? What are those? I learned a lesson on that. Playing in Dallas, lovely. The check was long.
I bet it was.
No state tax.
I bet you it was.
I was looking at them checks like, yes. Got traded to New York, and it goes from,
oh my goodness, I can't even imagine.
It goes from toll tax, bridge tax, borough tax, oil tax. It was
Yeah.
a freaking
Everything under
taximundo.
the sun. Yeah.
Everything. And so the check was looking real short. And I was like, yo, what's really going? Those are lessons that
Yeah.
we don't get to learn until you're actually in it. And who's teaching? Who's teaching? And even in the NBA, they you go to these symposiums and you go to but no. You know what I mean? I really think we're doing our kids a disservice by not teaching these elements in high school, not teaching these
Right.
different things. I mean, I think it should be a Monopoly class, you know, a life class. Like you're playing the game, like for real, like, you know, and I did that, man. Nate, I actually did this, and I know we got to go to break, and I'm just gonna quick tell this. Like, I did this for my son, and I think I'm glad I did because my son is actually a worker, a hustler. He's 6'6", 260, and he could have played football, but he's working, right? I played Monopoly with him. I used Monopoly money. I went down the whole thing. His school was his work. His bike was his car. His room was his apartment. His lights, if his lights was left on, there would be some deductions. If his TVs was left, you know, I
But you
basically
learned
worked that.
Yeah.
And I had him write out a budget. So each month it came up. If it came up short, he got bonuses. I would pay him real cash if he came up, you know, doing it right, handling things right. If he did good in his school, that was a bonuses for, you know, I actually gave him those type of skills as a young kid so that he can understand that money doesn't grow on trees, that you don't just, you know, wake up and just happen to be, you know, like it's
spin.
You understand? So if he wanted to go to the movies, or if he wanted to go and do this, or if he wanted to go and buy that next game, well, what does it look like in your budget? You know what I mean? And I would do things for him, but you know, you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I want him to understand that concept. And I don't think I think we're really doing our kids a disservice, especially when Deion said it, man. He said, who's going to be able to tell these kids anything? Kids. Now, these aren't grown men yet. They're kids. And so,
and you got an ego
issue.
too when you're
That's
that
what
old.
I'm saying,
and it's
bro.
just, I mean, it's going to be very fascinating to see how this
how's a
works out.
camaraderie? How's a camaraderie inside the locker room going to work out?
Again, when you have professionals, usually you can handle it pretty
Yeah.
well, but a bunch of 18, 19-year-old kids,
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting to see what the NCAA does because they've done absolutely nothing up to this point. They've just kind of turned a blind eye, and you're supposed to be the ones regulating the classes. You're supposed to be the ones that are regulating this financial literacy, and you've done nothing. So it's very fascinating, but looks like Ohio State's getting to the forefront of it. I know there's been discussions about Texas A&M, Alabama as well. So it'll be really interesting to see if we see any more of that parity because up to this point, it looks like the rich are only getting richer. So Bart Scott, he says that teams were more fearful of Peyton Manning than Tom Brady. I'd probably have to agree with him. We'll talk about that next. You're listening to On the Block, 93.7 The Ticket.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Take your next step and join us for a Discovery Day at Southeast Community College. In Beatrice, Lincoln, or Milford, you'll get more information on the nearly 60 career and technical programs we offer, what financial aid is available, take a campus tour, and see our new buildings, and talk with actual students and faculty. We'll even buy you lunch. It's time to start thinking about what's next. For more information and to register, go to southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
Shopping for insurance can be a tedious and frustrating task, but the agents at Brokers Insurance Agency will do the work for you. They have partnered with over 20 of the best insurance carriers in the nation, which allows them to do the shopping all for you. Whether you're looking for business insurance or employee benefits for your company, or you're looking to save money on your home and auto insurance, Brokers Insurance Agency has the agents and solutions to help meet your goals. Call 402-420-5353 or email staff@brokersinsurancenE.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank, a relationship you can count on.
The Lincoln forecast today, partly sunny skies, Maybe a little hot this afternoon and breezy as well. See an afternoon high of around 92. Tonight, partly cloudy skies are expected with light winds. See a low of around 68. And tomorrow, mostly sunny skies return with a high of around 90. A meteorologist Kyle Flechter for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $22.07 per hour and other select jobs starting at $23.77 per hour, with wages growing up to $29.71 per hour. Continental also has salaried jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
We stand on the shoulders of women who came before us.
Women who fought for their own financial futures.
And now it's our turn.
Join us. Visit WeSaySaveIt.org and take control of your financial future by saving for retirement.
A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Bach on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You listen to On the Block 93.7 The Ticket. A very good Tuesday afternoon to all of you. Nate Brennan, Eric Strickland, 402-464-5685. We want you to join us as well. That's the Honda of Lincoln Hotline, Starter Heyman text line. We want to hear from you. We're going to have a good discussion here in a second because Bart Scott taking shots at Tom Brady. We're going to have a little bit of a GOAT discussion because I have a feeling that Strick and I are probably not going to agree on this one. So it should make for a good discussion. 402-464-5685, Starter Heyman text line. We want to hear from you as well. So Bart Scott, he says that he was more worried to face Peyton Manning than Tom Brady. Quote, he says on ESPN Radio, I'd rather go against Tom Brady every day of the week. I believe that's how everybody feels. I lost as a number one seed to Peyton Manning with the Baltimore Ravens. Peyton Manning gives you a different set of anxiety. With Tom Brady, it was more about Bill Belichick and the entire team, the execution and them having a game plan. But something in the first quarter meant something totally different in the second. So my question to you, Eric Strickland, also Tom Bach is still at the College World Series. He was there last week, going to be there this week as well. He'll be back on Wednesday. So Jake Bakoven, he is setting up for the College World Series. Again, he'll be back Wednesday. My question to you, Eric Strickland, Husker Hall of Famer. What do you think about what Bart Scott had to say?
I'm a person who objectively can stand outside of the situation and really take into account what someone is saying and, you know, take their point in context and be able to understand kind of where they're going and how they got there. And I may agree or I may not. in this specific instance, I think what he's saying, I understand. I think Peyton Manning is masterful in making adjustments, not only in game, in quarter, from one series to the next, from timeout to timeout, from I think he's masterful at being able to see what teams are trying to do. And in the words that was said of, he's more like a coordinator on field, whereas, just the things that Tom is able to do with what he's given. And so the implementing of the game plan is what they do well. Okay, I get that. But here's the difference. My thing is that Tom Brady has been able to elevate mediocre, moderate, in the middle type players and make them great, make them Pro Bowlers, just by the way that he's been able to raise their levels of play. I think that means something in a GOAT debate. I hear what Scott says, and that Manning is master of the mental side of football, that defensive players would lie awake at night with anxiety about what Manning might do. Whereas Brady's success is more of a function of the people around him. I disagree with that. I don't think that's necessarily the case, because I've seen Manning do something. To even look at last year, he literally had nothing. To me, Gronk getting older, not the same Gronk as he was when he was in New England, but definitely successful. Evans.
Mike Evans is a good receiver.
Great receiver, but so by himself, solo. Injuries at the receiver position.
Chris
You
Godwin,
lose Antonio Brown, and yet you're still on the verge with a moderate line of still getting a win that goes.
Great defense, though.
Great defense.
Great defense.
Facts. So when I look at it from that standpoint, and then I look at it from Peyton's standpoint, he's always had solid, but again, the adjustments, the things that he's able to do has made them great. To me, I think he should have won more. That's just as great as he was, and with the weapons and the stuff he was given, the teams he was given, some had great defensive as well. They're in Denver, definitely. Indianapolis was solid, Dwight Freeney and those crew out there.
Robert Mathis,
you know what I mean?
Bob Sanders.
Yeah. So he's always had, also those pieces, and that's why I disagree with what Scott has said. And I still think I used to fight Brady. Everybody would be, this is years ago. Oh, he's about whatever. Don't talk to me. And then every time he freaking finds a way. And I stopped fighting him. I was like, I can't fight you no more, man. You are that good. But what people don't know is Brady is a freaking troll. So when you're saying he's not masterful at the mental game, I think he is. I think you just don't see it. He's kind of one of those guys like MJ. Like MJ talked. Okay, GOAT, right?
Which we're agreeing, it's Michael Jordan.
Mind game,
right?
MJ to me, rookie year. My aunt, I'm living in Dallas. My aunt is a big Michael Jordan fan. Deion Sanders owned a club at that time. It was called Primetime 21. We was there. Chicago had came in early. They were at the club. It was a nice night. Afterwards, my aunt goes to me. She's like, hey, Eric, I want to meet Michael Jordan. I'm like, God. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't want to walk up to this man. I'm got to play this dude tomorrow. I mean, I wasn't playing at the time, but I was gonna. So I say, hey, MJ, man, listen, hi, Strick, man, with the Mavs, but my aunt would love to take a picture with you. She'd like to meet you. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure, man. Bring her over. She comes over. And then he goes, this is the first thing he says to her, mind games. He says, make sure he goes home tonight. He gets a lot of rest because it's going to be a long day for him tomorrow. That's a GOAT.
Yeah.
That's a GOAT.
That's awesome. That's an awesome story.
It's going to be a long day for him tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
That's an awesome story.
So that's the type of stuff Brady would do that you wouldn't necessarily see in the news. but he would do it on the field. He would walk by you and let you know what he's about to do to you. He would laugh at you. He would troll you sometimes. He would do it by just sending a tweet with his rings or something.
Right.
He's a troll, but he wouldn't do it in the way that most people would normally do it. It's brazen. So that's why, for me, that's GOAT action.
Well, I think what's interesting about Peyton is he was kind of known for his mental game on the field, the audibles, the nonsense he'd say on the field, kind of the fun, happy, goofy guy on the exterior, but interior, he is one of the most competitive players we've ever seen play the game. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get down to the nitty gritty, and I'm going to ask you a question. So this is always the argument. I want to make this very, very clear. 402-464-5685, Honda of Lincoln hotline, starter Heyman text line. You can come at me all you want. I'm making this very clear. If I had to say who the GOAT is to ever play the game of football, the greatest of all time to ever step on the football field, I have and will always say Peyton Manning. I will take that to the grave. I will never say that it's Tom Brady. And here's what I'm going to say to you, Eric Strickland. I want to know what you have to say about this. I'll give you the rings. There is absolutely no competition. Tom Brady, when we're talking about the greatest winner of all time, sure, it's Tom Brady. I think Bill Belichick and his defenses had something to do with that. You can decide however you want. I think we can agree Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, their primes, the peak of their powers overlapped. I would say they were in their prime during the same time. Peyton Manning drafted in 1998. Tom Brady drafted in the year 2000. Maybe Tom Brady, you can give me the longevity argument. Okay, I understand all of that. Peyton Manning, 5 MVPs. Tom Brady, 3 MVPs. Peyton Manning, 7-time first-team All-Pro. Tom Brady, 3-time first-team All-Pro. So when we're talking about the best player in football or first-team All-Pro, best quarterback in football, their primes are overlapping. If Tom Brady was better than Peyton Manning, how come he wasn't winning those awards?
Wow.
How come Peyton Manning is winning the MVPs
Interesting.
and how come Peyton Manning is winning the first-team All-Pros? Because we're saying their primes, they were at the peak of their powers at the same exact time. But Peyton Manning was voted consistently. This isn't, let's just say, okay, Peyton Manning has one more first-team All-Pro. Peyton Manning is a 7-time first-team All-Pro. Tom Brady, 3.
The block is hot. The block is hot.
I'm telling you.
Sutter Heyman text line is hot. 402-464-5685. You just made me sweat in this cold building. Listen.
That's always been my argument.
That is deep. I have to take that into account. I can't fight that because, look, people try to talk about the LeBron James, Michael Jordan, and when you go and do it in that same manner, there's no question.
There's no question.
It's like there's not even an inkling of discussion.
Scoring titles, MVPs, all that.
MVP, defensive, just the whole nine, right? You're absolutely low. You just laid out groundwork for me to have where I have to sit back, sip on a little tequila, and wipe that thing off. You know that shimmy, that little shimmy where it hits you in your chest real nice. Yeah, that part. I got chills. That is a good Sutter Heyman text line. Talk to me. I want to know. Am I tripping? Did he just drop a bomb on me?
I'm telling you.
You dropped a bomb on me.
we got a couple of texts coming in. So Rico had who had better weapons. I would say long-term Peyton did, but then the argument that I always say when we say who had better weapons, you look at their best season. Tom Brady had the greatest receiver to ever touch a football field.
That's
Randy Moss. And I will take that to the grave too. He's the greatest receiver to ever step on a football field. Peyton Manning, when he was breaking all these records, his best receiver was Emmanuel Sanders and Julius Thomas.
No, Demaryius Thomas.
Demaryius Thomas, too.
Right.
And Julius Thomas was his tight end.
Oh, the tight end. That's
Julius
right.
Thomas.
Julius Thomas.
So if we want to talk weapons, okay, maybe over the course of his career.
Not like,
no.
He's not even in the top
Demaryius
25.
Thomas, rest in peace, Demaryius Thomas. Demaryius Thomas, let's not act like after Peyton Manning left that Broncos team, he was a shell of what he was. So you can give me Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne. I think that Peyton elevated those teams. Texter says everyone thought Manning had a bad team and success was on his shoulders. Brady proved that wrong with success in Tampa. And that was a pretty darn good defense. Texter says best football player ever. Peyton Manning as an athlete was not anywhere even close to what a Barry Sanders or Walter Payton was. He got lucky he played in an era where throwing the football became popular. We made him look like a damn fool his senior year in college. Well, that is
true.
That is fair. Marvin Harrison, top receiver. Marvin Harrison, I'll give you. But when we talk about the greatest seasons of all time, So we're talking about the record for most touchdowns, most passing yards in a season.
Mhm.
It was Peyton Manning on Denver.
Mhm.
So we can make all these arguments with him on the Colts. I understand all that. But technically, his best season was when he was on the Denver Broncos, and his weapons were Demaryius Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders, and Julius Thomas.
You've done your homework.
I've done my homework
You've
because
done your homework.
I will always say this. And I listen, I'm not disagreeing. Tom Brady is the greatest winner of all time, probably in professional sports in its totality. I will give you that. The man just wins football games. But you cannot tell me right now, if you picked up Peyton Manning from the Indianapolis Colts, put him on the New England Patriots, that he would not have as much success, if not more, as Tom Brady.
Ooh.
I do not believe for a second that Peyton Manning in that system is not as successful.
Wow. I can't fight you right now. I'm trying to think of.
And I'll give
something
you
to
winning.
fight.
I'll give you winning.
I'm on the ropes right now. I'm taking blows. I don't know what to say right now. That's a good little compilation you put together.
Texter says Peyton could barely get back past the line of scrimmage in Denver. He still threw 52 touchdowns in the season. It doesn't matter when you're shredding the defenses. And I know Peyton Manning was
Don't act
certainly,
like Tom Brady could run.
Yeah.
Guys, stop.
And I know Peyton Manning was gifted his last Super Bowl. I understand that. Brock Osweiler started half the season. Peyton Manning could barely throw the football in that last season. But there were some very, very questionable defenses when he played for the Colts, where Peyton legitimately had to put up 40, 50 points to win. I know that they had some pieces, and when they ended up beating the Chicago Bears, they were a top 5 defense in the NFL. So that definitely certainly went into that. But I just look at that. If Tom Brady was the better quarterback, how come Peyton Manning was the first team All-Pro every year?
Well, listen, I'm gonna let the texters, because I'm on the ropes right now. I'm taking body blows and uppercuts. I'm dumbfounded right now. That is actually a great laying out of the foundation of why you would think Tom Brady should be. I mean, not be the guy. I like the way you laid it out. Listen, we're here on the block, and the block is hot. And Nate Dogg just laid down the gauntlet, and some of you guys' comebacks are not.
Yeah, Texter says Edgerrin James, big reason. Peyton Manning won his Super Bowl with the Colts with Joseph Adai. He was supposed to be the missing piece. Guess what? He wasn't. Joseph Adai was not very good. I don't know. I've never had anyone give me an explanation as to why, if Tom Brady was better than Peyton Manning, why was he not the first team All-Pro and Peyton was? He won the rings, but if we're going by that argument, why isn't Bill Russell the GOAT in basketball?
Facts. Or why isn't it Robert Horry?
Robert Horry.
Facts.
I think there's a lot that goes into it. Tell me if I'm wrong. 402-464-5685. I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to change my mind. Peyton Manning's the GOAT. But we have Shootout with Strick next. 402-464-5685. Honda of Lincoln Hotline. Call now. Shootout with Strick. $15 Buffalo Wings and Rings. It's up right after this. 93.7 The Ticket.
My computer was a dinosaur, and our TV, well, let's just say it was definitely time for an upgrade. But finding a way wasn't so simple. And then I found it, a research study at Solarion. I searched the studies and found a perfect match for me. I earned cash for the study and was able to make those much-needed upgrades. Plus, I made an impact on medical research. Find a study and sign up today at helpresearch.com.
You should consider the risks of the research before you agree to participate.
At Baxter, we put you in the driver's seat with a simplified buying process, at-home test drives, hassle-free delivery, and service pickup and return. Check out all our new vehicle specials now during the Ram Make the Switch event at Baxter Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Shopping for insurance can be a tedious and frustrating task, but the agents at Brokers Insurance Agency will do the work for you. They have partnered with over 20 of the best insurance carriers in the nation, which allows them to do the shopping all for you. Whether you're looking for business insurance or employee benefits for your company, or you're looking to save money on your home and auto insurance, Brokers Insurance Agency has the agents and solutions to help meet your goals. Call 402-420-5353 or email staff at brokersinsurancene.com.
MaxTan is celebrating 29 years with some Max-tastic birthday sales. Get 50% off unlimited tanning, sun and spray with no contract and no sign-up. MaxTan celebrates 29 years with you with 4 Lincoln locations. Take your tan to the max at MaxTan.
Yo, it's the captain, Rashawn Jackson. Join me this Wednesday at Wingstop at 50th and O Street from 11 to 2 for Husker Sports Talk and, most importantly, wings. That's Wednesday at Wingstop at 50th and O Street, the official sponsor of the captain. Order wings ahead at wingstop.com. See you there.
It's the weekend. Do you know where your kids are? The dangers of alcohol, marijuana, and other controlled substances are bad enough. They become even worse when teens get behind the wheel or catch a ride with an impaired driver. Parents, it's time to start what could be a life-saving conversation with your kids about the dangers of underage drinking and drug use. Learn more at coalitionrx.org. Paid for by federal grant dollars through Nebraska DHHS and Region 6 Behavioral Healthcare. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
Gus brought up an interesting topic during Song of the Day about 2000s dad rock. We were trying to just find some bands because he said Three Doors Down reminds him of like dad rock from 2000s. Okay, Pork Chop says Papa Roach.
Like.
That's dad rock. Yeah,
Yeah.
And that's good.
Yeah,
Papa Roach
that's
is
divorced
great.
dad rock.
Yeah. Buck Cherry also divorced dad rock.
That's divorced dad rock with went to a younger model.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
It's time to play Shootout with Strick. Call now, 464-5685, to take your shot against Eric Strickland. Shootout with Strick. Brought to you by Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Time to play the game!
You know what that means? It is time to play the game. Shootout with Strick. We play it every single day. $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings on the line. All you have to do is call 402-464-5685. That's the Honda of Lincoln hotline. We still need a caller, and we do not have a producer right now. So you know what that means. We're going to send you right through the air. So please be kind to us. Don't be rude. We trust you. We trust our listeners. We got a good group of listeners.
I wish I could have seen Triple H last night. Like,
was he not there?
No, but they promoted him. They promoted DX.
What about John Cena? Was John Cena there?
No, but he's coming back.
Oh, nice.
They say he's coming back. I mean, everybody was DXing up in there. They had the cameras going on, and everybody was in there getting it.
John Cena's been acting a lot recently.
Yeah.
I don't know if I had decided yet if he's a good actor or not, but hey, making a lot more money than me acting, so it is what it is. 402-464-5685. That's the Honda of Lincoln hotlines. We need someone to play Shootout with Strick. I guess maybe part of the reason no one's calling is because they don't know the topic yet. So if you guys give me just 1 second.
Yeah, they want to.
No, I understand. You want to know what the topic is. Let me just get it out here for a second. We do have a call.
Don't be scared of Stricky. Stricky's fun.
No, I know, but this is the thing is we're like right after the finals, so a lot of my Shootout with Stricks have been NBA. I'm pretty sure it is today too, so maybe that may be part of it. They're scared of you, Strick, the former 9-year NBA vet. So we will head to the Honda of Lincoln hotline. We do have a caller. Who are we talking to? Keith, my man. How do you feel about NBA champions?
Not bad.
Ooh. Oh, a little combo.
Strick, is that making you a little
Yeah,
bit
a little
nervous?
today.
That's all right. Well, Keith, you know how this works. We're gonna make sure to
We
get
should have had
Strick's
the GOAT
numbers
debate.
first. We should have had the good. We're gonna have Strick play first, so make sure you stay on the line. We will get his answers and get his numbers, and then we will go from there. Let me make sure I get everything set up right on the board. Box always blowing people's ears out. That's what I told myself. I said when I start, I'm not gonna be able to do that. Okay, Strick, are you ready?
Ready.
All right. We will go in 3, 2, and 1. This Lakers point guard won 5 NBA championships between 1980 and 1988. Jerry West or Magic Johnson?
Magic Johnson.
That is correct. This team would break up the Bulls' string of championships in the 90s when Michael played baseball. Blazers or Rockets?
Rockets.
That is correct. Who was the coach for the Raptors in their only NBA championship? Mike D'Antoni or Nick Nurse?
Nurse.
That is correct. The last time this franchise made the finals was in 1999. The Pistons or the Knicks?
Knicks.
That is correct. And your money ball. This legendary Spurs coach has been the coach for every one of their 5 championships.
Popovich.
Make sure the buzzer goes off.
Greg Popovich. Greg Popovich.
Greg Popovich is correct. So that means that Strick, you've you try to keep the hot streak going. Yesterday was pretty impressive. So,
He's on fire.
He's on fire. I think I actually know where that is. I'm gonna have to give it a look here. In a
And
second.
I need if I win this game, and I don't know if I'm gonna win. I want him to go. Let's go to the what is it called? The after the if we tie.
The money ball. The money ball. Or no, the tiebreaker.
Tiebreaker. I want to go.
I want to go to the
tiebreaker
tiebreaker too. We haven't
Let's
had a
go.
tiebreaker in a while.
Come on, I'm rooting for you. Come on.
That's what Keith Strick
on,
is
Keith.
rooting for you. How do you feel after knowing that he got all 6 points?
Not great. No.
Well, I
You
will
got this,
tell you-
Keith.
I think you do got this. Also, your hint on your money ball is that just think Strick. Just think Strick. That'll maybe help you out. I
Okay.
hope so.
right.
Maybe that'll help you out with your money ball because he played for the Dallas Mavericks. That is all I will say on that. Keith, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, we will start in 3, 2, and 1. Shaquille O'Neal will get his 4th and final championship with this team in 2006. Celtics or Heat?
Celtics.
It was actually the Heat. Who holds the record for the most championships for a player? Robert Horry or Bill Russell?
Bill Russell.
That is correct. Between 1980 and 1988, they were the only team not named the Lakers or Celtics to win the finals. 76ers or Suns?
The Suns.
That was actually the Sixers. This was the last team to three-peat as NBA champions. Spurs or Lakers?
The Lakers.
That is correct. And he would win finals MVP in his only championship with the Mavericks in 2011.
Oh, God. The Mavericks.
Dirk Nowitzki.
Dirk Nowitzki would be
Nowitzki, yep.
correct. Who Strick actually
There you
played
go.
with. Keith, we appreciate the call, and I will tell you, do not worry. Go ahead and hang up now because the third caller, Strick plays for the people. The third caller will get $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. That could be Keith, so we don't know. It's again, this is just how it works. It's gonna be the caller. Strick, if you're feeling good, well, here, I'll make sure to give you your
Finish him.
your shout outs right here.
Boom,
That was my
shakalaka.
favorite one right there. And then I'll finish him, and then I'll give you this one.
Give me a hell yeah. I said, give me a hell yeah.
All right, let me pot this up because that is your second win. So technically, that would mean that you are on fire. So let me see if I can get this to work.
Somebody should put a straight jacket on this guy. He's on fire.
So there you go, Strick. You are officially on fire. But I'm curious. So you played very well today. This tiebreaker, I think you might know. I'll go ahead and give it to you. The Lakers are tied with the Celtics for most NBA championships of all time at 17. How many championships have the Lakers appeared in?
Even include Minneapolis?
I believe it would include Minneapolis, yes. It's just in total.
26.
You're close. It's actually 32.
Mm.
So they've won 17 of their 32. So they're batting over 500, which is pretty good. But the Celtics, I'm pretty sure, have been to like 20-something. So they win. Basically, if the Celtics are in the NBA Finals, other than this past year, they're more than likely going to be winning it. So that was Shootout with Strick. $15 Buffalo Wings and Rings on the line every single day. Strick's on fire here. I'll go ahead and give it to you again, Strick, because I love this too.
Somebody should put a straight jacket on this guy. He's on fire.
So Strick is on fire. So that'll do it today for Shootout with Strick. Again, you can call us tomorrow, and then $15 Buffalo Wings and Rings always on the line. We got a whole nother hour of On the Block. Make sure you stay with us. You listen to 93.7 The Ticket.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive Certified Piedmontese Beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
3rd and 25. Quarterback takes the snap. He rolls out to the right.
After the game, come on into Sirloin World for our Saturday specials.
It's more fun to watch Nebraska football in person. And for a chance at great seats, enter the Nebraska Lottery's Lucky for Life ticket snap. Through July 26th, buy a Lucky for Life ticket and enter the voucher number for a chance to win Nebraska football Skybox season tickets and more. And don't worry, Sirloin World will still be there when the game's over. Lucky for Life top prize odds 1 in 30 million.
Brown Shoe Fit has all types of shoes for you to excel this summer. Check out their new Keen and Tiva brand sandals for hiking and Olukai sandals for sitting by the pool. Plus, they're stocked up on Hey Dudes to catch you up on the latest shoe fashion. They also have shoes and brands like Brooks, Hoka, Merrell, On, and many more. Browns has the local professionals to get the proper fit, aided by their high-tech foot scanner by Aetrex. Stop by Brown Shoe Fit today, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
At Baxter, we put you in the driver's seat with a simplified buying process, at-home test drives, hassle-free delivery, and service pickup and return. Check out all our new vehicle specials now during the Ram Make the Switch event at Baxter Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
It's the weekend. Do you know where your kids are? The dangers of alcohol, marijuana, and other controlled substances are bad enough. They become even worse when teens get behind the wheel or catch a ride with an impaired driver. Parents, it's time to start what could be a life-saving conversation with your kids about the dangers of underage drinking and drug use. Learn more at coalitionrx.org. Paid for by federal grant dollars through Nebraska DHHS and Region 6 Behavioral Healthcare. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
I present the fruitcake. Long the subject of jokes, ridicule, derision, but did the fruitcake accept its place in the culinary totem pole? No! The fruitcake sought to rise to its full potential at Beatrice Bakery. Premium nuts, high-quality fruits, and the delectable trio of brandy, bourbon, and rum. Grandma's fruitcake is no punchline, but a decadent treat that packs a punch of flavor.
Check out Grandma's fruitcake and all the delicious desserts at Beatrice Bakery. Welcome to our world of yum.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends. That's the greatest compliment we can receive. If you've been in an accident, we'll get you back in your vehicle as quickly as possible. Our technicians care about you and your family and repair your vehicle to factory standards. We handle your claim from start to finish and provide a free loaner car. Stop by for a free estimate. Eustace Body Shop, just south of 88th and Highway 2.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Allo means business. Allo means local business. Allo means big business. Allo means small business. No matter your business, if you need reliable phone and internet connectivity, you need Allo. Local service and same-day dispatch. Free installation. Symmetrical upload and download speeds. If your business relies on communication, rely on Allo. Allo means business. Visit allofiber.com/business.
Get a lot of advice about self-care these days, but one of the most important self-care steps we can take is making sure we're financially secure later in life. For small steps you can take to save for retirement, visit WeSaySaveIt.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is On the Block with Strick and Bach. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here at
the Big 8 tournament champion.
93.7 The Ticket veteran and Ortega connoisseur, Jake Bakoven.
I like Ortega and I like Pepper.
Coming at you live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Strick and Bob. Hold up.
Welcome back to On the Block. E. Strick here with my guy, Nate Brennan, a.k.a. Nate Dogg. We're on the block, and it's been hot. It's been hot. I'm talking about UIL hot, and I'm talking about football NFL GOAT debate hot that left me stammering. Over here stuttering. Stuttering. I couldn't believe what he laid out. Listen, Nate, you did the doggone thing on that.
And I've still had anyone to give me a legitimate reason why.
That's the part, is that I couldn't. Everything that I was hearing on the text line, it wasn't a rebuttal with
my question,
actual questions to be answered, or actual factuals, or documentation, or prove me wrong, or everything that put me on the same level, or whatever. But that is a great question. How is it that if we overlap? I like how you laid the groundwork first. First of all, you didn't come straight out and just put the wall up, because if you would have came straight out and said he's the GOAT and that's it, and then you try, everybody and their mama would have had walls up. But you laid out the groundwork. You said, okay, you have two football players that for the most part overlap, 98 and 2000. So you're talking about, for the most part, someone who is now 23, going on 23 years of playing NFL football, and someone who played Peyton played 14 years, maybe?
Peyton would have played 17.
17, okay. So you have that, but what you laid out for me is, in the same times of the overlap, you're talking about a player who was first team 7 times compared to 3, and who had won how many more MVPs?
Peyton's won 5 and Brady's won 3.
Interesting. I mean, when you drop it like it's hot like that, there's not much I can. You get emotional at that point. You're just getting emotional, and you go back to rings, and okay. But then there's another debate if you're just going to let that be the criteria, right? So then when it comes down to the GOAT debate, that's the question. The $100, the $1 million question is, what is the criteria, right? I liked what some people did on the NBA side for the criteria. I think it was like a seven scale criteria, where some have done 7 scale, some have done 5 scale, where they're talking about eye test, and they're talking about, just they added other elements in there to just not make it about, rings and things. You feel me? So to me, that debate still is out there, and my mind may start to shift.
You want to know something that's crazy too? Faisal says Brady was an 11-6 against Peyton Manning. That is true, but you guys want to bring up the playoffs. Guess what the record was? Peyton Manning versus Tom Brady. Peyton Manning's 3-2 against Tom Brady in the playoffs. I bet that's something that you didn't know.
When it counted.
And I know Peyton Manning, again, he's had his arguments against him in the playoffs, have something big to do with it. But if we're looking at the overall record, and then you guys want to bring up playoffs, we can bring up playoffs, because head to head, Manning had the advantage 3-2. So I don't know.
Dang. You know what? You see, at least you're coming back with rebuttals that have some numbers and factuals and things to it, and not just. I like the attempt. Whoever that was on the text line that just threw that. Listen, that was a great attempt. That was like, you're in putt golf, and you had the most difficult task of getting through all of the the obstacles that were in front of you, and you made a great attempt, and you landed right next to the hole until he came back with
That's. I mean, I've had this take for years, so I've had plenty of times to have my opinions about it. Also, Alexander the Great says, "Quit debating things you can't prove." Isn't that the whole point of a debate?
Yeah.
If you can prove something, there's no debate. I feel like that's the whole point of debating. I don't entirely understand. I mean, that's an interesting take, Alexander. I mean, I guess no, we can't prove, but I think that's kind of the whole purpose of debate. Texture says, outside of the Bucks recently, Peyton always had the better surrounding cast. Offensively, maybe. Defensively, I don't know about that. I mean, those Patriots teams were top 5 in the league
absolutely every
single
year.
And then Texter says individual awards like MVP are a popularity contest. I don't know about that necessarily, because I think if that was the case, then Kobe would have had more, and I think that LeBron would have had more. Because Kobe, you guys got to remember, Kobe only had 1 MVP, and Steve Nash has 2. And that was your overlap. So I don't know about that.
And in that scenario, Steve Nash was a liked guy, but he wasn't the most popular guy. Let's be real about that.
No.
So I don't buy that one.
Interesting. Alexander the Great says Jordan, Brady, etc. tired of the constant debates on the GOAT. I don't think we're debating the GOAT in basketball. I'll give you Michael Jordan every day of the week, and Strick and I will both agree on that. I think the debate might be who's number 2. I would say LeBron's number 2. I would be shocked if you heard someone on the station say that LeBron's the GOAT. We would have to have a serious discussion if someone would, because I don't know if I've heard anyone say that. Texture says outside of Randy Moss,
got to throw, if you're going to have that debate, you've got to now throw Stephen Curry into the mix.
Yeah.
If you're trying to have that debate, because who wins that head to head overall?
Right.
And then on top of that, what's his record in finals games?
Right.
Golden State, their record is on par, just right behind Bulls.
Right. Texter says Edgerrin James was much better than any New England running back. Edgerrin James played with Peyton Manning for less than half of his career. Again, that Super Bowl winning team in 2006 season, 2007 Super Bowl, their running back was Joseph Adai. So Texter also says outside of Randy Moss in New England, Peyton had much better wideouts than Harrison and Wayne. Let's not act like he didn't have Rob Gronkowski, who is, in my opinion, it's not even debatable, the best tight end to ever play the game of football. I know that he announced his retirement earlier, and we'll talk about
they're the
that.
number 2 duo of all time.
Behind Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison. Sure, I understand that. But let's not act like Tom Brady didn't have the greatest tight end to ever play the game of football. You'd be very hard-pressed to tell me in their prime a better tight end than Rob
And that's where my debate was. My debate was adding the element of what I thought Tom did to elevate some players that were mediocre.
Right.
But it was like Peyton, to me, now that I'm listening, he accentuated the greatness of what he had in the players. He made them super great.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne, both first-round picks. I understand that. But let's not act like every first-round pick is a boom. Like, it's not that every single one of those works. It did with Peyton Manning. And let's not also forget, too, Brandon Stokely was a multiple-time 1,000-yard receiver.
Right.
Brandon Stokely's not a household name. Let's not act like Peyton didn't elevate players that played for him. Pierre Garçon, you can throw into that. He got Pierre Garçon a lot of money.
He got
Pierre
paid.
Garçon was not that great.
Yeah.
Texter
because when he got to Washington, he was garbage.
No, he was not very good at all. Texter says Tony Gonzalez was better than Gronk. Again, when you talk about longevity, possibly I can hear that argument. But I don't know if I'm going to say in there, like,
Tony couldn't.
Gronk was a different. Gronk changed the tight end position. Like
he was special.
He changed the tight end position and how it's looked at, and we've seen players fall directly after him.
The physicality, the ability to create space. Hands Gonzalez, if it was in the area, it was caught.
Right.
You know, that's where you look at that. I mean, he was very solid.
I mean, Gronk's just a specimen, man. Like, he is just
because he can run it against a cornerback. He can run it against a cornerback.
And if you put a linebacker on him, they're too slow. You're too slow. Gus says if making others around you better is an element of being a GOAT, Strick, interested to hear what you have to say about this. You need to include Bird and Magic.
I don't debate them to be in the top elements of, but let's be real about it. Bird played with 4 top 75 players.
Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish,
Um,
Dennis Johnson. No,
you had
Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish.
Robert Parrish
was the big
and then
one.
they had, but think about it. Lewis. He had Reggie Lewis, and then he had gosh darn it. So then you had Danny Ainge. You had some
Danny
solid
Ainge
players.
was
Stop it.
a very good point guard, and then Magic. Sure, we can give you Magic. But
Magic with Kareem, Magic with
Magic entered that,
and Worthy. He's had 3 of them.
yeah,
So 3 of them was on his team.
yeah. That's a fascinating argument. I'm not so
I
sure.
don't know if I'm rolling with
And I understand, but that's the thing too is how do you
because
interpret?
MJ only played with 1.
MJ
Well, 2.
made the most out of his role players. I think.
I would agree.
I mean, Dennis Rodman was a
But-
glorified
but
role player.
If you can establish confidence in a Craig Hodges, in a Steve Kerr, in
Tony Kukoc,
Paxson, a John Paxson, those type of guys. Listen, you elevate them to give them enough confidence to be able to knock down that big one, but yet you're still that guy. Look at his ratio of game winners. Just how many when it counted, he was a bucket.
Right.
That's those types
Something
of things
that's
for
an
me.
important
That's-
mention. Gus says Parrish wasn't a threat until Bird was around. There's some truth to that. I'll give you. Alexander says no. Jimmy Graham did. Jimmy Graham. That's a good shout out. I don't know if Jimmy Graham was on the same level as Rob Gronkowski.
Jimmy Graham was next level as far as his
he was
ability
good.
to change the tight end.
He helped change.
He
the
made
position.
it. I think he made it very hybridy, where you can have
Right.
like a Niles Paul that could play that wing, kind of that wing back hybrid tight end type, and then you get your what's Aaron Hernandez types, and even the ones that are there now, like what's the kid from Florida that
Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts. He to me, Jimmy Graham made those type of tight ends to become what they could be, where they're hybrid and be both a tight end and both, receivers type.
Interesting too. He says, look at all the former basketball players who now play tight end. That's a good point. And that's why we have a couple texters chiming in now too. They would argue that Antonio Gates are up there with Gronk. Antonio Gates
I'm
is a
rolling.
good shout out.
I'm rolling.
I can get
I'm
behind
rolling.
Antonio Gates.
I'm
Listen,
rolling.
those Chargers teams are one of the best teams to never win a Super Bowl because you had Phillip Rivers, LT, and Antonio Gates. Those were.
I'm rolling with Antonio Gates.
Those were some good.
I can't fight you with that.
Those were some good. Those were some good teams. Tony didn't have Tom throwing him the ball his entire career. I understand that, man, but I think we need to definitely put Rob Gronkowski in the discussion. JP says Dallas Clark. Look, Dallas Clark was a great player. He's not a first ballot Hall of Famer. Like Gronk is a certified first ballot Hall of Famer. I just think that has to be part of the discussion. Texter says, why do you play in the NFL to win the Super Bowl? How many rings does Manning have compared to Brady? Again, and this is what I said, Texter. I don't know if you heard us the hour before that. I said the GWOAT. So I'm with you. Tom Brady is the greatest winner of all time. You can look across the landscape of sports. However long sports has been around, you can put him up there. I think Michael Phelps needs to be in that discussion as well, as I would say are the two greatest winners. Just win at all costs of all time. But I just
I would throw
Bill Russell's probably in that discussion too. What is it?
Who am I talking about? Track.
I have no idea.
6'5". Sprinter, 100, 200.
Oh, Usain Bolt.
Usain Bolt.
Usain Bolt. All right. Yeah.
You gotta throw Usain in there.
And that's the thing. I feel like a lot of people don't bring up Michael Phelps in the discussion too. Like Michael Phelps, might be the greatest athlete of all time. Like he was unbelievable.
Dominating.
It was one of those when Michael Phelps was in the swimming pool, you might as well just call it over. Yeah. That 2008 Beijing Olympics, that was interesting. Gus says, I hate the Cowboys, but they had great tight ends, Novum and Witten. Jason Witten was pretty good. Jason Witten was good. He was in the booth there for a while. I don't know if he still is.
No, I think he jumped out. Then he came back and played another few years.
And then Jeremy says the Grill Master, Shannon Sharp, and Tony Gonzalez. Shannon Sharp is a good shout out too. You guys can give me these names, and I'm not saying they're not in the top 5. They're not in the discussion. I am with you 100% of the way. But Gronk, I mean, he was just unbelievable. Like, we need to not forget that when Robert Gronkowski was at the peak of his powers, he was a first-round draft pick in fantasy football every year. I mean, it was you cannot pass up. Travis Kelce started to enter that discussion too, and I would say that he's starting to become a part of the discussion of greatest tight end of all time and top 5 and all that. But man, like Rob Gronkowski did things that we'd never seen before on a football field, and he might have been a beneficiary of Tom Brady. I'm not saying that he's not, but I think that goes into the GOAT discussion. And I'm sorry, guys. I am not going to change my opinion that Peyton Manning is the greatest quarterback to ever play the game of football. I'm just not. And I'm sure Tom Brady's the greatest winner. I agree with that. But I think there's something to be said for him being a product of the Patriots system.
Yeah. I mean,
when Tom Brady, the 1 year that he didn't play, Matt Castle went 10-6 for crying out loud. Right. Mac Jones led the Patriots to the playoffs last season. The one season that Peyton Manning didn't play, when he eventually would go to the Denver Broncos, the Colts had the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. Like, let's not act like the Patriots were just some terrible team when Tom Brady left. The Colts were legitimately the worst team in football the 1 year that Peyton Manning didn't play. They went 2-14 and drafted Andrew Luck.
And got lucky.
They were the worst team in football. Yeah. I mean, it's just, I think the impact that he makes on the field, the first team All-Pros, the MVPs, they speak for themselves. Telling you.
Well, listen, there's one thing that I want to get to. I know we got to take a break right now because we can debate this all day, but there's something that I definitely want to get to is Ohio State's Brian Hartline pulled a rabbit out of his hat.
Bizarre.
Listen, I want to talk about that when we come back, what he actually did to get a commit there at Ohio State. But on top of that, we may kind of touch in a little bit if we got time. Is Jason Tatum, is he a falling star or is he an emerging superstar? I mean, we may touch on that a little bit, just kind of how the way they fell. But we got to take a break right now on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. I'm Mean Strick. We're on the block, and that is my partner, Nate. And we'll be right back after these messages.
Work, laundry, dishes. I was exhausted. I needed a vacation, but finding a way to pay for it, not so easy. Then I found it, a research study at Solarion. I searched the studies and found a perfect match for me. It was so easy. I earned cash for the study and booked that vacation. Plus, I made an impact on medical research. Find a study and sign up today at helpresearch.com.
You should consider the risks of the research before you agree to participate.
Yo, it's the captain, Rashawn Jackson. Join me this Wednesday at Wingstop at 50th and O Street from 11 to 2 for Husker Sports Talk and, most importantly, wings. That's Wednesday at Wingstop at 50th and O Street, the official sponsor of the captain. Order wings ahead at wingstop.com. See you there.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful. I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman. Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great. We're definitely coming back.
Sure. Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Allo means business. Allo means local business. Allo means big business. Allo means small business. No matter your business, if you need reliable phone and internet connectivity, you need Allo. Local service and same-day dispatch, free installation, symmetrical upload and download speeds. If your business relies on communication, rely on Allo. Allo means business. Visit allofiber.com/business.
You know you want that smoky, tangy, sweet, and spicy sauced and tossed Wingstop. But you just brought a haul of groceries home from the store. It's cool. No one expects you to shop and cook in the same day. So let the flavor experts at Wingstop hook you up with mouth-watering wings, crispy tenders and thighs, fries and sides delivered to your door. You can always cook tomorrow. That's why the fridge was invented. Get it delivered at wingstop.com.
Order your Wingstop online at 28th and Superior, 50th and O Street, and 29th and Pine Lake.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it's been a great start here to the year as 2022 new inventory continues to roll in. Our pre-owned lot remains full, and we are selling at a record pace. I was just down at Koppel talking about a new order for myself, and they let me know I could actually start ordering a 2023 here later this spring. So stop on in to get your new 2022, your pre-owned vehicle, or maybe talk about ordering here for 2023. Check them out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast today, partly sunny skies, maybe a little hot this afternoon and breezy as well. See an afternoon high of around 92. Tonight, partly cloudy skies are expected with light winds, still over around 68. And tomorrow, mostly sunny skies return with a high of around 90. Meteorologist Kyle Tucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I present the fruitcake. Long the subject of jokes, ridicule, derision, but did the fruitcake accept its place in the culinary totem pole? No! The fruitcake sought to rise to its full potential at Beatrice Bakery. Premium nuts, high-quality fruits, and the delectable trio of brandy, bourbon, and rum. Grandma's fruitcake is no punchline, but a decadent treat that packs a punch of flavor.
Check out Grandma's Fruitcake and all the delicious desserts at Beatrice Bakery. Welcome to our world of yum.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Mike Schaefer here for Trek CBD. Springtime is here, and that means you're outside more in nice weather and maybe even having garage parties with neighbors. The drink of this spring and summer isn't your typical seltzer. It's drinkable Delta 8. Yep, Trek CBD has drinkable Delta 8 seltzers with mango and lime flavors for 4-packs and 12-packs, coming in a variety of mango, watermelon, lime, and berry. They also have hemp-derived Delta 9 syrups to put in your beverages, and as always, the excellent Delta 8 gummies. Trek CBD, CBD done right.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Bach on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back on the block here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Join the app. Also, hit us up on Facebook and tap in. Subscribe. We've got a great lineup, but we're here every day, 4 to 6, Monday through Friday. We're not with Bach right now, but we're with Nate. And there's something, Nate, that popped up on my radar that I was just like, whoa, if you're going to do it big. And they are big time right now in the Big Ten that's doing it big. And that guy's name is assistant coach Brian Hartline. Brian Hartline, basically the article came out and it was it is stated that when Ohio State defensive end JT Tuimalu arrived at the Columbus airport for his official visit last June, head coach Ryan Day and the entire defensive staff presented him and his family basically with Lay's. So they have a way of doing, when they're recruiting, they have a way of understanding the dynamic of your culture, where you've come from, your background, who you are, what you like, how you like it. Basically, they're one of the best car salesmen, because when a car salesman walks up you, they're not trying to sell you the dream. They're selling you on not only their culture, but the culture of where you come from to make you feel comfortable and at home. That's the way that they do it there. But Brian Hartline, who's the wide receivers coach there at Ohio State, he pulls up, grabs a 4-star personally. You know, I don't know if the coaches on my recruiting visit picked me up. Well, I think I drove down, maybe. I don't know. I was really close. But he picks up wide receiver Bryson Rogers at the Blackwell Inn on campus. He rolls up in a new Lamborghini Urus. That's baller. If I had never seen a baller move of all time, those are the baller type moves that it seems like today in this NIL generation that we find ourselves in, that pulling those big baller moves like that is a win-win. And it's a red SUV that is valued at just under $230,000
Oh my goodness.
stacks. The same dealership that CJ Stroud has a $200,000 Mercedes-Benz G-Class. But nonetheless, I didn't mean to mention that, but we just want to throw that out there. So in this game that we're playing right now, does this put, like we talked about, the rich get richer? Because I venture to say that Cincinnati, I venture to say that SMU, I mean, I think they could do it because, you know, you got President Bush and all the, you know, you got that oil money down there. I think they could do it, but do they want to? But I venture to say that Arizona State or Utah or Oregon State, you pull up on campus, they are not pulling up in a $200,000 Lamborghini.
No,
stop it.
Any team outside of the Power Five, no. Also, JP says cars, waste of money. I'd take the cash towards something that appreciates. Strick made that very argument earlier. We were talking about that. I think more when it comes to cars, it's how we view cars. Like it's cool, it's sexy, it's
when you pulling up,
it's appealing, right? It's
like that. Like real talk. Let's be real. You find yourself in Miami, you know, you roll up, you get off the plane, you pull up to the hot spot, Beds or something like that. You know, they're on the Miami beach. You roll up in a Honda Accord, or you roll up in the Lamborghini Jeep. When you step out of that Jeep, what type of look are you gonna get if you step out of the Honda Accord?
Watch it, Strick. I've got a Honda Accord, and I love my Honda Accord.
I love it too. I love it for the gas mileage, especially with the gas prices.
And I got a coupe, right, so yeah, no, I got good gas mileage.
But you understand what I'm saying? That's the sex. So is the honey's gonna look at you? Let's be real now. Is the honey gonna look at you with an ire if you step out of the Honda Accord, as opposed to if you step out of the Lamborghini? Which one are you gonna get the honey in? Tell me, talk to me. Text line, holla at me.
All right, the Lamborghini. You just got, you know, Honda Accord's a good car. No, exactly.
It's just sexy,
and that's that.
It's a baller move.
It is.
I think it's even more baller than pulling up in the limo right now. The limo's out. It seems to me like the limo is gone.
I don't know if the limo has the appeal that it does.
No.
I'm trying to think. The last time I was in a limo, maybe prom. I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
It has kind of lost its appeal, hasn't it? That's a good point.
They've shifted. I think the shift has went to the Sprinter as opposed to the limo. The Sprinter is like kind of like the bus van where you can stick a few of your friends in there. Is a little bit more spacious. It's kind of like the old, you know, the short man's bus that we used to ride on because we weren't so smart. Yeah, that was me. I was in that bus. So yeah, I think it's shifted. And so I think it's a lot different. And I knew it was different when I was in Monte Carlo. And we were out there this is when I learned about how things are different and sexy. When I was playing still college, I got invited to a national team. Actually, Rafe LaFrance was on there, Kansas.
Oh, nice.
Danye Abrams out of Boston College. Brevin Knight was on that team as well and played in the NBA with me at Vancouver, but also at Memphis. We played in an international team where they sent us over to go to France. And while in France, we went to Monte Carlo. This is when I learned the difference between regular and sexy. There was every time we walked down the street, there was a Lamborghini Jeep, I'm like, I've never seen a Lamborghini Jeep in my life. I
don't even think I've seen one to this day right now.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I've always seen just the Lamborghini. So anyway, they had 2 different casinos.
Oh, that's
they had the regular people casino, and we tried to go up the hill to the casino up the hill, and they were like, your pocketbook ain't big enough to get in this casino, young man. Basically. So we're in south of France. We go into a couple little bars. We're old enough. We go into a couple little bars. The guys are buying us, bottles. I asked the bartender, I said, yeah, that's a nice bottle. It was like vodka or something. I'm like, how much is that? He's like, 1,500.
Oh my gosh.
I'm thinking 1,500 francs. He's like, no, 1,500 American. I was like, that's when I dropped the ball. I was like,
I don't know about that.
This is next level.
Get out of here.
I'm not lying to you. I'm telling you the actual truth. Now, it was a big Magnum type of,
right,
but 1,500. And we had multiples. And so that's when I knew there's a different scale for
different lifestyle.
There's a different lifestyle for different people.
Right.
And that's baller. When you're talking about Power 5 football, when you pull up in the Lambo as opposed to the Accord, there's a different.
Kids look at that too. I mean, that's a big part of it. Drizzlefish says SMU did it before it was cool. SMU did do it before.
Ooh,
that was a good.
Yo, when they had
SMU did do it. SMU was a well-oiled machine there for a while.
Eric Dickerson and that crew.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They was doing it.
That was. John says I get mine in a big black truck like Montel Jordan. Trucks are cool now.
Yeah, they're like Ford F-150.
Yeah, if you get a nice F-150,
yeah, that's sexy.
That's part about it. But I mean, let's be honest here. I'd probably go with a Lambo over
Facts.
That. But it's interesting because this is one thing I want to ask you too. When we talk about Brian Hartline, everyone talk about how he's such a great recruiter. Carnell Tate's edition continues Brian Hartline's "It's ridiculous run of landing premier wide receivers." Becomes the 5th top 50 wide receiver in 5 years to commit to Ohio State. Do you think it's more they've now built a brand like a wide receiver that you come to Ohio State and you're a 5-star, we'll get you in the NFL, we'll get you money? Or do you think he's actually that good of a recruiter?
He's a receiver.
Right.
So he played at that level.
Right.
And he's cool.
Right. Oh, he's cool. I'll give you that. Yeah.
So you've got those elements. And it goes back to that conversation we had. Remember, again, I love Doc Sadler. But it goes back to that again. Handsome, cool, been there.
Doc Sadler was cool.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But Hartline has not only did it, he's played it, he's lived it, and then he pulls up in that. Come on, man. Like that you got, that's like Dion right now. Why you think Dion is landing the top type recruits?
He's cool.
He don't have NIL money.
Right.
But receivers, DBs like Hunter, they're looking at it from a standpoint of beyond just he could have won any. Obviously he's a 5-star, super 5-star,
one of the best recruits in the country. Yeah.
But he goes there, but it's so much more to it. And I think that's a part of the element on top of the NIL situation. That's like cherries on the car on top for Brian Hartline, is to have all of those elements that like a Deion Sanders has, being there, playing there, handsome, cool, those type of elements. And then you pull up in that, come on, man. Where else are you going to go, bro?
Is that the one car that you would say is the coolest, pulling up in a Lambo?
No, I think for me, man, look, the OG move. If you the OG,
you get a
pull up in
Bugatti.
the rolls. You pull up in the rolls.
That is OG.
You pull up in the rolls.
You can get a Bugatti,
The Bugatti,
Bugatti's expensive.
I like the Bugatti.
I don't know.
I'm not pulling up in $1 million car. No, sir.
No,
$2 million. But I'm opening the door. Think of how you open the doors on the rolls. The Rolls Phantom. Just open the door from the inside out. It don't go like normal. It goes this. It goes. If you
No,
can see
I
me,
know.
it
I
goes
agree
this
with
way.
you. I can get behind that. A Lambo is pretty
Man,
cool too.
or you pull up in the Maybach.
You think he's using this as kind of a marketing pitch in saying, if you come to Ohio State, I've got a Lambo. I'll get you a Lambo too. Because like you said, guess who else has Lambos?
Listen.
CJ Stroud's got
Listen,
a Lambo. He's
Ryan
probably
Day-
got two.
Ryan Day says, I need 13 mil from my starters. He just throws it out there.
It's insanity.
So guess what
Insanity.
guess what the boosters start saying?
All
Okay,
right.
we gotta round it up. Let's go collective. Let's get the collective rolling. The NCAA ain't tapped in yet. Let's get it. That's how it's happening right now, my boy. Nate Dogg, it's going down like that. Just put it in the ether sphere and let them go get it.
Which is unbelievable. But now what does the NCAA do?
See, that's what I'm saying.
You can, I mean, you've created this mess and you have to do
Pandora's-
something.
Pandora's box has been opened.
Where do you start?
Where do you, like they say,
'Cause
the
it's
cliche
already
word,
out there.
It's out there. It's out there. You cannot put when you pump the toothpaste, it ain't coming back in the
You
tube.
can't put it back in.
You can't put it back in the tube, my boy. So for me, right now, it is Houdini. The Wild Wild West. The Wild Wild
It
West.
is.
It is the Houdini right now of football, college style. And don't think it's not happening on smaller scales in other sports right now. Don't think baseball ain't don't think Tennessee is not hitting you over the head all
Arkansas,
across the Don't think
Vanderbilt.
it's not happening across the board. Whatever program is running the ship, they are NIL killing it right now.
And what I'm worried about too is that now that you've opened this, even if you try to take it back or rescind maybe some of these policies or whatever it may be, John loves how you say Strick says my boy. I like that.
My
I also
boy.
like when you say Stricky too. Stricky's one of my favorites. Now you've reached the point. Even if you get rid of this, it's still going to be out there.
Yes.
You've already created a situation. You can't take it back.
Take it back.
And then what do you start doing? Do you start suspending teams, taking away bowl games, taking away
Nate,
wins?
There's nothing you can do.
How do you get it back?
Nate, listen. I've lived in Texas a long time. It hasn't arrived here in Nebraska yet, but it probably will at some point because we're a little behind sometimes in these types of things. But we're gonna get Joe before we get out of here. Not now, but when we come back after the break. But listen, I'm gonna throw this out here. They started toll roads, and the reason behind the toll roads was they're saying we're going to use this toll money in order to pay for the roads that we're building to give you more accessibility to make driving a little bit easier. But after they pay for the road, they're not giving the toll money back.
No.
They're keeping the tolls rolling. Matter of fact, it might even increase the tolls, right? So this is what's going on right now. The toll roads are being built and they're not giving back the money. You've already let the cat out
Created
the
the
bag.
nonsense.
The monster
Yeah.
is already grown, and it's like on that movie. What's
The
that
Loch
movie?
Ness Monster, Jaws.
What's that movie with the big plant? Feed me, Seymour. You know, I can't remember the name of it. But nonetheless, we'll be back. We got to go real quick for a quick. We'll come back
Joe,
to Joe.
stay on the line.
Joe, hold
Stay on
on.
the line, Joe.
Stay there with us. 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. We'll come back and finish up with Joe on that.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Spring is here. Are you giving your yard the best chance at being healthy and green? Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn to get your sprinklers ready to go for the season if they haven't been working properly. They're also scheduling installs for new sprinkler systems if you don't have one. So make sure you contact them early to get a bid as soon as possible. Plus, they're your one place to go for 5-step fertilizer and pesticide application and lawn aeration. Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn today at 402-413-1215.
Brown Shoe Fit has all types of shoes for you to excel this summer. Check out their new Keen and Tiva brand sandals for hiking and Olukai sandals for sitting by the pool. Plus, they're stocked up on Hey Dudes to catch you up on the latest shoe fashion. They also have shoes and brands like Brooks, Hoka, Merrell, On, and many more. Browns has the local professionals to get the proper fit, aided by their high-tech foot scanner by Aetrex. Stop by Brown Shoe Fit today, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful. I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman. Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back. Sure. Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Yo, it's the captain, Rashawn Jackson. Join me this Wednesday at Wingstop at 50th and O Street from 11 to 2 for Husker Sports Talk and, most importantly, wings. That's Wednesday at Wingstop at 50th and O Street, the official sponsor of the captain. Order wings ahead at wingstop.com. See you there.
Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends. That's the greatest compliment we can receive. If you've been in an accident, we'll get you back in your vehicle as quickly as possible. Our technicians care about you and your family and repair your vehicle to factory standards. We handle your claim from start to finish and provide a free loaner car. Stop by for a free estimate. Eustace Body Shop, just south of 88th and Highway 2.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
You know that feeling after a good, hearty meal? The worries of the world just slip away. Time slows down. Nothing but good times and good company. That's what you get with Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Mary Ellen's does food right, with a menu that includes smoked wings, pulled pork, brisket, catfish. And don't sleep on their sides, shrimp and grits, collard greens, baked beans. It's food that makes your heart happy. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul, just east of 27th and Pineland. Let them fix you a plate.
Hey, Steve. Welcome to Great Clips. Great Clips asks, what's the difference between good and great? Come on back and have a seat. Good asks you what haircut you'd like. I have all your details from last time. Would you like the same haircut today? Great already knows. With Clip Notes, we save your haircut details so you can get the same thing as last time, every time. Download our online check-in app today. Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
Gus brought up an interesting topic during Song of the Day about 2000s dad rock. We were trying to just find some bands because he said Three Doors Down reminds him of like dad rock from 2000s. Okay, Pork Chop says Papa Roach. That's dad rock. Yeah. And that's good.
Yeah,
that's
divorced dad rock.
Yeah. Buck Cherry, also divorced dad rock.
That's divorced dad rock went to a younger model. Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action. Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Bach
on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Just as the song puts it, the block is hot. Listen to On the Block, 93.7 The Ticket. Honda of Lincoln Hotline, Sartor Hamann text line 402-464-5685. We want to hear from you, and we will hear from you because we have Joe hopefully still on the phone. Joe, what do you got on your mind today?
Hey, fellas, thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know this is kind of lame, but I'm a proud dad, so I'm going to do it like I did last year. Just wanted to give a shout out to the Elmwood Murdoch 10U softball program. My daughter's team and 2 other Elmwood 10U softball teams played in the tournament of 10 teams this weekend, and they finished out with the 6-seed silver team and the 2-seed black team, which is my daughter's team, playing in the championship game. And the 6-seed silver team beat my daughter's team 1-0 in a walk-off win in the bottom of the 5th.
Nice.
It was a great tournament, and I did this last year, and Connor Happer and his lame co-host made fun of me after I got done because I was talking about 10U softball. But I'm doing it again this year, and I'm going to do it again every year because I'm proud of my kid, and I'm proud of the Elmwood Murdoch community for having a great tournament and always having good support for youth programs. Thanks for taking my call, guys. Have a great day.
Yeah, thank you, Joe. No,
You
hey,
don't have a problem with. Hey, listen,
I'll do all you want.
Nebraska softball, we want them.
Yeah.
Get them now, right now. Get on.
You'd have to call Rhonda and see if we can start recruiting.
Start listening.
No, thanks for the call, Joe. That's awesome. Listen, I'm all for supporting any type of local sport. I don't care how old they are. Trust me, we've talked about things a lot more outlandish than 10U softball. So love the call. Again, if there's ever anything on your mind, 402-464-5685. We love to hear from all of you. Going to go over some storylines to close out On the Block today. Stanford is done. So I know you wanted to touch on that a little bit. Strict College World Series had some interesting matchups. Looks like the number 2 overall seed, Stanford Cardinal, they're done. Texas A&M, the 5 seed, for what it's worth, is going to advance. But an interesting World Series, to say the least, to start.
Very interesting, and I love that it's not panning out as people would have projected.
Right.
You know, it's some teams stepping up, and maybe the greatest parity right now is in baseball.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. Maybe
which I like to see
it
it
in baseball.
I like to see it. I'm a big fan of it. Also happening last night. We don't do too much hockey talk, but the Avalanche, the clear favorites heading into the Stanley Cup final, they get a 2-0 lead. The Lightning put it to them last night, though, 6-2. The Avalanche would end up pulling their goalie. So maybe we have a little bit of a series here back in Tampa Bay.
Hey, listen, I like hockey. I still say for me, hockey on site is better for me.
Oh, 100%.
Then I watch on TV. The action is just the pace and all of the speed. You get to see it all just developing. And I don't want to sit behind the glass. I want to sit up just a little because I want to see it all. Just flowing.
Yeah, as someone, I grew up obviously in Virginia, as you guys know, and I went to a lot of Capitals games growing up as a kid, and those games were awesome. Going to a professional hockey game, even if you're going to minor league hockey, I've been to a couple Stars games. Those are awesome. Like, listen, you can take me to a hockey game any time that you want. Also, Gronk, we've been talking about him a little bit, talking about the tight end position in general. Rob Gronkowski officially retiring. Do you believe it this time? I know last time he kind of said, I'm going to retire, drank a few beers, had a few fun off seasons, to say the least. Tom Brady comes back to Tampa Bay. Gronk joins him. So do you believe him this time?
It depends on what type of conversations and golf outings that Gronk and Brady are having these times a day, and how many drinks that he can put in Gronk to get him to.
No, hey, listen, I think that might be part of the discussion, especially when it comes to Rob Gronkowski. A little bit of a party animal. Hey, I don't blame him, though. You play 11 years in the NFL. You got a first ballot Hall of Fame career. I'd probably do the same. What you got going on for the rest of the day? Stricken WWE yesterday. What you got for the rest of today?
Today is going to be sitting out in the patio, man.
Ooh, a little hot. A little hot. That's all right.
Got a little shade.
There you go.
Sit out there, have me a little glass of Pinot Noir because Thirsty Thursday's approaching.
That's right. Did you get it from Myers Cork and Bottle?
Yes.
There you go. A little plug right there. You know we love Kevin Meyer and Myers Cork and Bottle. That will do it for On the Block. Ticket Weeknights is going to be next. So we got a full lineup of shows for you. Make sure you stay with us. As always, 9 to 3, 7 The Ticket. We will give you all of the content, the local content that you want. So Ticket Weeknights is going to come up after this. For myself, Nate Brennan, for the Husker Hall of Famer, Eric Strickland, we will see you tomorrow on the block.
Hey, Steve. Welcome to Great Clips. Great Clips asks, what's the difference